La emisión está comenzando. Todos los asistentes están en modo de solo escucha.
Okay, good morning, everybody. It's Miguel Garcia here from Zabala. We will be starting this presentation in 2-3 minutes so that everyone can join. Okay, now we have 22 attendees. We will wait for a few more minutes so that everyone joins. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So we're about to start. Let me open a little bit the webcam so that we will say you hello from Zabala. Now? Yeah. So it's Miguel here, Nestor.
Nestor, hi.
Javier González.
Hi, everybody.
And Susana, or comes.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. So we will be doing this webinar today to present you Blockchers open call. So the presentation is going to be divided in 3 different sections. So we will first start with a general overview of the program, which I will do as coordinator, and then my colleagues will follow with more specific details about how you should submit a proposal and how the proposals are going to be evaluated. At the very end, what we will do is we will open the floor to questions and answers from your side. So during the presentation, if you have any kind of question, feel free to use the chat to send us the questions, and then we will go one by one, okay? We will also have the possibility to open the microphone in case you want further clarifications. So, Blockchers. Our main aim is to facilitate the revolution of distributed ledger technologies across European SMEs. That's our main objective of the project, our main statement at what we want to perform. And in order to summarize a little bit the whole concept of the project and about the open call, we have an online video which we will briefly view. It's just 1 minute. Okay, so that's in a nutshell, in 1 minute, what Blockchers is about, but with some numbers. So Blockchers is a project which is funded by the European Commission through Horizon 2020. It's a project which started last February and will last for 2 years, and we have a little fund of 750K for entrepreneurs, which means that we're going to be dispersing funding equity-free for startups and SMEs all over Europe through 2 open calls. As a project, we are comprised by a network of partners, which you can see in the slide. So we are Zavala Innovation Consulting, we are the coordinators, and we are in charge of the open calls and of the launch of the open calls, the evaluation, and so on. But then we have more partners, which is probably one of the most valued things that we have in the consortium. So we have the Frankfurt Business School through their blockchain center. I think we have one of their members here today with us. So Manelin, maybe you can say hi so that everyone hears your voice.
Hello, everyone. Nice that you're joining.
Thank you, Manelin. Good morning. We have also Innomine. So you can say hi over there.
Hello, hi, this is Gabor from Innomine. Welcome all of you.
So Innomine is another innovation specialized firm. They're based in Hungary, and they will provide you assistance in different things, as we will see later. And we have Alastria. I don't know if we have, no, they tell me we don't have anyone connected. Alastria is the Spanish association of blockchain technologies and companies, and it's comprised by a very big number of corporations here in Spain, also SMEs. They have their own infrastructure, which will be made available for you during the project if you're selected, but we'll talk about that later. So what we want to do? The main objective of the open calls here in Blockchers is selecting SMEs, developing solutions with DLTs for the validation in end users SMEs use cases. This means 2 things. We are looking for blockchain or DLT specialists, which are startups or SMEs, in any country in Europe, which implement real-world use cases in other SMEs which are not specialized on technology. That means that we need tandem groups of SMEs, one more with a technology focus, the other one more with a use case focus. The domains that we welcome applications are varied. So you have Industry 4.0, mobility and transport, food and retail, media, legal and compliance, health. And then we have decided to add another one called other, which basically means that we expect the unexpected, even including more traditional domains, as it could be the financial or fintech sector within the blockchain application. So nothing is excluded in practical terms, although our reference domains are the ones that you see listed over there. So the overall idea is that an end user SME with little knowledge on technology is looking for a solution in their business, a solution for a problem they have. It shouldn't be a technological problem, it should be a business problem. So for instance, they need a solution for food traceability. Let's say if we talk about the agri-food sector. They need a technological SME which can help them build a use case with blockchain technology. And this is what we're really looking for in our program. This kind of use case based on blockchain technologies comprised by this technological SME, which are the ones that are submitting the form, let's say, in practical terms and receiving the funding, but they have to bring hand by hand an end user SME. How do we do this arrangement between both SMEs? The technological SME form or fill in the form, but they need to fill in as well a letter of commitment at proposal stage, comprising an agreement between the technological SME and the end user SME. Without that letter of commitment, the proposal will not be eligible. And this is one of the key elements here, and this is something that needs to be really, really clear. We need the technological company, but also the end user SME. How do we work? We are now at proposal stage, and we will be at proposal stage until the very end of May. Then there will be an immersion phase, we call it, where we will disburse 3,000 euros per team, selecting up to 12 different teams that will go into what we call a blockathon, which is an event we will organize in Hungary during the beginning weeks of October. During that event, we will evaluate the proposals there and will select only 8 teams out of the 12 to go into the proper implementation of the use case. The implementation phase of those 8 selected cases will could obtain up to 30,000 euros equity free. And at the very end of these phases, there will be some validation of the KPIs defined internally in the program, and there will be 2 winners, which will receive an additional amount. All the funding that we are disbursing is equity free, meaning that we are not taking your equity, we are not charging any hidden fees, we are not charging for anything here, because the Commission is paying us to do this management. So the first and the winner of this open call will receive 50,000 euros, okay? So depending on the stage you reach, you will receive a different amount. And what other things are we going to be offering? We are offering free access to the network of Alastria. We are offering a dedicated coach for every project we select. We are offering technical support for this network. Frankfurt Business School is offering free access to a certificate program, meaning training, which is valued in 5,000 euros each. And we are also organizing investors matchmaking. There will be other, let's say, perks, which we will be offering as soon as we close some deals with additional partners here. But this will be known during the project executions or during the program is executed. So maybe we have now Alastria in the call. So maybe Almudena, it's now a good point to explain a little bit of detail of what the infrastructure that Alastria is providing consists of.
Yes, hello everyone. Yeah, thank you very much for this great explanation. The participation of Alastria is basically aiming at offering the technical support as it's mentioned there. This means that what we offer is free access to the Alastria blockchain or DLT. Alastria, for those of you that don't know it yet maybe, is a European blockchain that is present in several European countries. And it offers a real infrastructure, a real blockchain that is aligned and compliant with European legislation. It's built in its essence from the beginning to be always compliant with European legislation in terms of GDPR and the rest of European law. And for that we give you access to free use to our DLT. And technical support to be able to use it in case it's needed, but it's actually pretty straightforward. So it wouldn't cost you much, I think, to use the network itself. So basically, that's our offer. And then we also contribute to investors matchmaking. Just trying to find further funding for your project in case you need it.
Okay, Manelin, maybe you can provide a little bit more insights about the certificate program. Manelin? No? No, it's not working. Okay, never mind. So there is full information, or there will be full information about all the and additional services that we will be offering, so don't worry about it. Okay, what's next?
Maybe if I may, since Marlene is not there, maybe I take a couple of more minutes to explain a bit beyond the DLT and the blockchain. Alastria as a concept is an ecosystem. It's public permissioned, which means everybody can access it. So it's meant to be democratic and open, but it's permissioned because you need to fulfill certain conditions. It's mainly you need to be identified. and then we build together. It's an NGO, is a non-for-profit association in its legal terms, and all the members contribute to the development of the network. So also, if you don't want to, you can only use it as a client or as a user of the DLT for the purpose of your development of your application or your blockchain development. But you can also contribute. There are several committees: the legal committee, the innovation committee, the technical committee, where information is shared, where the platform is discussed, where the further challenges and technological developments are commented for the development of the platform itself. And you're most welcome to also participate in that, which is very useful actually, because there is a lot of knowledge that it's shared. The energy is very high, and you basically get really involved in how the platform works, what are the principles it represents, and the way it altogether is built. And this also helps for the development of your own applications. It's not needed, but it's an opportunity, and it's also part of the philosophy of building a full ecosystem around the infrastructure.
Okay, thank you very much, Almudena. So now we will move into the more practical things to be aware of about the open call. So first, my colleague Nestor will take over and will explain you the submission stage.
Okay. So thank you, Miguel. Good morning to everybody. So I'm going to go further the open call, the Blockchers open call. So it's the main issue of this webinar. No, we have talked about the program. So right now we are involved in the open call that was open on 26th of March and is going to be open until end of May, 27th of May. No? The only way to apply for proposals is through the F6S web form or application. Then later we are going to see how it works, but here you have the link. Is the only way to applicate is through this application. No by mail or not by other ways. It's the only way that we have. So as Miguel explained before, the Blockchers project has different stages or phases. No? Right now we are in the open call stages. Is the first one. No? We are involved in the submission and the evaluation of the proposals. Then with the selected ones, the 12 selected ones, we are going to the immersion phase that is finishing with a pitch where the use cases selected has to explain the use cases, no, their solutions, and it's going to be developed in October in Budapest, the blockathon, these pitches, and then the 8 SMEs that pass to the next stage, the implementation one, they are the ones that they are going to really develop the use case in a real scale, no? Using the Alastria network or another one if they want. So, and at the end, to the end of this first call, in February of 2020, we are making another event where we are going to make the brief to the best or not, to the better use cases. No? So this one is the process of our project. Right now, we are in the open call. No? We are trying to solve all the doubts about this open call. Yes, sure. So before submission, the first thing is we are asking you to read the guidelines we have in the website. Also, we have some questions that are already answered. So please try to read them. We thought there are many issues that are solved. So try to write. And if you have any other doubt, tell us. And another important thing is that we are using public funding. So be careful with compatibilities. If you have another funding aid or you are applying to another aid, be careful if you can apply to both of them or not. It's one that has to be sure that can receive funds from different ways. And then, inside the open call, this is the main instructions. First of all, is to identify one of the domains where you are going to focus your solution. No? So, as Miguel told before, we have defined some domains preferred, but if you have a solution that you think will be very important, or to give a solution to another use cases needs, you can go to all domains. So you have the other domain that you can include any solution here. So the second important phase is to contact second or the first one. So I would have put the second one, but maybe is the first thing that you have to do is to contact an end user SME and sign an agreement with them. No? The template of the letter of commitment is in the website also. You can download it and use it. And is compulsory or mandatory to include this agreement in the application. Without this agreement, the proposal is not eligible. So it's very important to have this agreement between both SMEs. No? I think it's the most important thing. It's the only thing that may your proposal not eligible. So please try to do in the first stages to have the commitment of the end user's needs. And at the end, you have to go through the F6S online form to applicate. It's a really short questionnaire, but please take your time to complete it. No? So don't wait until the last day to fulfill the form, because it's a simple questionnaire, but you have to very well explain your solutions in order that in the evaluation, the evaluators can see properly how it works, where are you going to be directed, and everything. Please take your time. No? It's the main message. And right now, if you want, we can go through the F6X application form, online form, to see how it works. So right now, we have entered users. The people that are already registered in F6X do not have to create a team. Here it's in Spanish, sorry, but it's for us. But if you are not registered here in the application, you have to fulfill your data as SME, and it's really easy. So, and then here are the general questions of the project, the application form. They are really simple. Why do you engage with Blockchers? The use case description, no, with the technology that you are going to use. Why? The domain where you are directed to. So here are all of them. Your name. So they are really easy to fulfill fields. So then some questions about the business, because it's important also to show that the solution is going to be commercialized or exploited after the project. It's important to have a use case with possibilities to reach the market. Okay, so here we have some questions about the business case and the company numbers. And the third important thing to be evaluated is the team. No? It's important that you have staff with experience in these technologies, so you can properly develop the solutions. No? You can see there are only 25 questions, really short, really very straight directed. So we think it's not complicated, but as I said before, try to take your time and try to explain the better that you can your use cases. So, sorry. So right now, this is if you have any question with the open call, then we can solve them later. Right now, I give the floor to my partner Javier. He's going to go through the eligibility criteria, the evaluation phases, so more general ways. So Javier, if you want.
Thank you very much, Nestor. Hello, everybody. So let's talk now about the eligibility of the proposals that we will receive in Blockchers in the first call. The main eligibility criteria which should be followed is that applicants must be an SME. Okay, that's very, very important. And you have to make sure that you comply with the definition of the SME, which is available. SMEs can apply to Blockchers. So, of course, the accepted applicants should be technological SMEs developing a use case for an end user SME based on DLT. It means that the end user of the solution should be also an SME. That's very important to be eligible in the project. And what Nestor has mentioned before, a letter of commitment between the two SMEs, the technological SME and the use case, so the traditional SME, let's say, should be also submitted in the application form, and that's mandatory in order to be eligible. As usual in Horizon 2020 calls, only SMEs which are legally established in the member states or associated countries, or the definition of the eligible member states in Horizon 2020 are allowed to apply. So you have here the extract of the information that we have in the rules for participation in Horizon 2020 projects. So proposals from other countries which are not stated here are not eligible. Okay, that's important. Also, the tradition, so the non-technological SME should be also located in one of the eligible countries. Okay, that's also important. Only one proposal per SME will be accepted, so do not submit different proposals because several proposals, because all of them will be discarded if it's the case. No subcontracting is allowed in the development of the project. So this program is focused and is intended to support you as technological SMEs to develop internally the project, not to subcontract to any third party which can provide you better infrastructure or better knowledge about that. No, this is focus on your own development. And as Nestor has mentioned before and has showed also to you before, you have to fill the proposal with valid information at F6S. So all the mandatory fields and the information that you provide here should be valid and should be completed in the whole system. Okay. Some information about the evaluation of the project. When you submit your project to the platform, there will be a first automatic sorting based on the answers that you provide in F6X application. The application will automatically sort the proposals following the internal red flags that we are defined in order to assess the eligibility or not of the different projects that have been submitted. After this automatic sorting, there is a remote evaluation, which it means that every proposal that we receive will be evaluated by two different independent experts, okay, which will use different criteria for evaluation according to the technical approach and the usage of the DLTs, the team which is behind the project. That's very important that you describe with as much as possible the team, the experience that you have in the in DLTs, and in order to assess the capacities of the team that is implemented the project, and also the feasibility of a business after the use case that you will develop within the Blockchers program. Okay, these will be the main criteria which will be used for the evaluation of the proposals. And also, if you know, so if you want to be an expert of, if you think that you are still not ready to submit a proposal and you are interested in being an expert in this program, there is also an open call looking for experts. which is also available through F6S, is the same way that we have seen before, just looking for blockchers and experts. And two different profiles of experts are sought at these moments. So distributed ledger technologies experts, so it means technological experts, and experts with a more business and financial profile, focused on investment issues, startups development, and so on. So this call is also open to you if you want to apply. And one very important issue for that is that applicants cannot be evaluators at the same time, because it means that there will be a conflict of interest. Okay, so we have to respect and to avoid the conflict of interest for that. So if you maybe this call you are not very ready for submitting a technological proposal and you are interested in being an expert, it's also a possibility to participate in the program. How the results will be communicated. So all the projects which submit a proposal will receive an evaluation summary report from us. Okay. These, as you see here, this is more or less the flow of the eligibility of the projects. Your project can be rejected, inserted in a waiting list, or pre-selected for financing. Okay, this will so every submitting proposal which enters in the evaluation phase will receive the evaluation summary report, or positive or negative, or to be in the waiting list. Just so a few details about the evaluation, but if you need more information and if you have any question for which one is not solved during this webinar or in the question and answers round that we will open now, you have all these channels available: the email hello@blockchers.eu, the Telegram channel, which is very active, in which you can also pose questions and make some comments and share contents and ideas about blockchain. The website of the project, blockchers.eu, where all the information regarding the calls, the guidelines, and all the necessary information is available and downloadable. And also the Twitter channel at Blockchers, where you can find the latest information of the project. So that's all from our side regarding the main issues that we would like to share with you. And now, if you have any question, we have now a time for questions and answers. We are also answering some questions online in the chat. But if you have any question to propose, you can also use the option of raising your hands, and we can open the micro for you, and we can try to solve the questions. Okay? Thank you very much. Question and answer time.
Yes, just to review a little bit the questions that we additional ones. So I will go through the questions, although you already have them on the chat, we can share them with you, but just to, because we are recording the session, so all the questions and answers are also recorded with sound. So some questions. Alastria is on a free access lifetime. The answer is no, only during the execution phase of the use case. Another question is, can we participate also if our project is designed to work?
May I interrupt you on this? May I interrupt you? Sorry.
Yes, sure.
May I maybe complete a bit? The answer is no, but there are two features of Alastria that are very important, I think, to know, which is it is an association, so members have free access to the DLT. So after during the Blockchers program, it's for free, and afterwards the access is for startups, 500 euros a year, and there is no gas, just for them to have an idea of the art of the kind of cost that it may mean afterwards. That's it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a very good point to be taken into consideration as well, Modena. Second question was, can we participate also if our project is designed to work with a different blockchain? The answer is yes, you can use any DLT you want. We are not forcing you to use any DLT in concrete. We are offering this one for free during the project lifetime, but it's up to you to decide. Another question was, are you looking for already developed blockchain technology for startups at the blockchain development stage? So what we are really looking for, and these have also raised several questions through email, is implementations of use cases for SMEs, which means that the technology you use to implement this use case should be mature enough to be implemented in a real world scenario. So you can call it development stage, you can call it premature, you can call it pre-launch into the market, call it as you want. The thing is that we are funding you to deliver a use case scenario into an existing end user SME. So the more mature, the better the use case scenario is presented and is therefore existing, will have more chances to succeed during the program. That's for sure. So solutions that are built are now at idea stage without any real implementation. That will be very, very strange that we select them, because there will be no time actually to do a real world implementation. But that is also up to the evaluators to decide, okay? So we are looking for the implementation of use cases for SMEs. So technology needs to be ready for that, okay? Another question was related to, if my end user is a single customer and I need a partner in the middle to reach my end customers, is that a viable solution? Okay, again, the answer is the same as before. We are looking for end user SMEs. So no intermediaries SMEs. We are looking for end users SMEs. That should be really, really clear. Okay. What else? What if the blockchain technology is not for other SMEs, but for a B2C startup? Then the answer is pretty straight here. We are looking for real world implementation use cases in SMEs, not in a broad, massive amount of final users. So we are more into the B2B than into the B2C, although the B2C could be also understood as some customers or some clients, final end users are SMEs. So could be a little bit tricky to answer. As long as you have the end user there and it's an SME, we will evaluate that, okay? More questions. Is the funding to be shared between the SME and the DLT company, or is the funding only available for the DLT company? We disperse the funding only to the technological SME. Whatever arrangements you have with your final end users, they are always up to you. The funding from our side will be disbursed only to the technological SME. And we will do that through a sub-grantee agreement, we call it, which is already available for you to check through different installments and phases according to the stages you reach. So that's in a nutshell. If there were only a few candidates as the first stage of the program, is there a chance that you would select more than 8 companies to go to a stage 2? The answer is practically no, because the funding that we don't spend here in this first open call will be directly transferred to the second open call, which will happen next year. But in addition to that, we expect a high number of submissions. Then it's up to the evaluators to decide if they have enough quality. But just for your information, yesterday we had already 28 applications open, and we still have more than a month to go. So we expect a very high number of subscription in this open call. Another question, will the experts that you are looking for help you with the program be paid? If so, how much? Yes, they will be paid. The evaluators will be hired for 3 different stages. So the first is the proposal stage, and we are working with a fee the same as the commission, 450 euros per day, per working day. The whole details are in the contract that I will be making available right after the call. So, but in a nutshell, and I'm talking now by heart, not with the document in front of me, but there were 2 hours for preparation of the evaluation, and then it was something like 30 euros per application, meaning that each application shouldn't take you more than 30-something minutes. They are very short applications. In some cases, people do not complete all the fields that they have in the application, so some of them will take you less than that. So that's in a nutshell what we're going to pay. A maximum of 4 working days during the first phase. And then for some of the evaluators will be called again to evaluate the pitch and to determine who is the winner of the final prizes. And that will require the evaluators to travel to some places in Europe. We will pay for the travel and we will use the same amount of 450 euros per day into a basis of a 1.5 days maximum per evaluation stage. Okay. All the conditions, as I say, will be published today in the contract template. Okay. Is it possible to have more than one non-technical SME signing the agreement? A bunch of SMEs interested in the solution. That's a tricky question. The contract is going to be signed by the technological SME and the coordinator of Blockchers, which is Zavala. So there is only one signatory. Then there is an agreement between an end user and the technological SME. Some of you say, okay, I have several use cases or several SMEs that are interested in my solution. Can I present different letters? You can, but the actual, and that's good. I mean, that proves that your solution comes with enough customers already, which is a potential good thing. What we are going to find is just the implementation of one end use case. That's to be clear in terms of communication. So if you want to present different support letters, for us, that's not a problem. But we are not going to distribute more funding because you have more SMEs. So focus. That's my advice there. Is there a matchmaking program for tech SMEs looking for end users? If so, what's the process? That's a very good question indeed. And what we want to implement, which is probably lagging a little back behind after schedule, is to use the online, how's it called, wall that is available on F6S to do this matchmaking process. What we are currently doing is we are receiving different inputs from customers or from potential SMEs or from potential interested people here. And what we do is to send them directly to post their offering at the group, which is public at F6S, so that we can use the board at the F6S as the matchmaking tool. Okay. Yeah. Anyone wants to have additional questions? Just raise up your hand in the system, and we will open the mic for you. What is the typical Emacs size for an SME? That is based on a definition by the European Commission, which is available in the presentation, but there are some numbers, obviously. The maximum number of employees something about several million in each case. I don't remember the exact names, but as we will share the presentation, it's a high amount, okay? So a typical company with profits of 1-2 million is or more than is an SME, so there will be no problem. We're talking about companies with more than 250 working force, so you can figure out the amount of funds they should be doing. Will the originality of the project be a criteria of selection? The criteria of selection that are public are the ones that are we mentioning. We cannot, let's say, go into deeper details than that. Why? Because we don't want you to trick the applications only for the evaluation. We want you to provide real answers. So there are 3 general criteria. The first one is the technological aspect. The second one is the team behind. And the third one is the business case that can be applied after the implementation of the use case. So those are the 3 criteria, as wide or as narrow as they are. Try to do your best in the application. Yeah? More questions? Calendar. When the project must be ready with MVP on DLT working and developed? Yes. The idea is that you go to the event in Hungary in October with a clear presentation and pitch and overall idea of the use case, so that's not the MVP. The MVP is then evaluated around February 2020. Okay, so that's the main milestone for you. Is it possible for two technical SMEs to come together partnership with the application? Of course, with one non-technical SME onboarded, or is it considered subcontracting? Mario, maybe I open the mic for you because I didn't get that question right. Mario, no, Marcio. Marcio, yeah. Can you?
Yeah.
Hello?
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Okay, thank you first of all, thank you for the webinar. So the question is, in case you have two SMEs, two technical SMEs, one of which is like kind of active in the blockchain business and the other one has the direct contact with the non-technical SME. Is it possible to file a joint application, like with the technical SME active in blockchain, focusing on the blockchain aspects, and the other technical SME not active in blockchain, focusing on the user case, end user application of the solution?
I don't know if I get this right, but you're telling us that you have a technical application which is not technology sound on blockchain.
No, I'm just saying that it might be the case that you have an SME which is not technically sound in blockchain application that may come together with an SME with blockchain application. I mean, two technological SMEs, one of which is blockchain focused, the other one has the contact with the non-technical SME. So you kind of have three players, one of which is the non-technical, of course, SME, and then the technical SMEs, there are two, and they come together with a partnership in order to participate to the process.
Yeah, okay.
You get my question?
Yeah, now I get that. The answer is no. We are only funding the technological SME with knowledge on blockchain, which should be direct contact with the end user. And there are no possible partnerships with any type of actors, no matter if they are SMEs, if they are corporates, if they are universities, whatever. Only one SME, technologically sound with blockchain technologies, and having the direct contact with the end user SME. Okay?
Okay, gotcha. Thank you very much for the answer.
Okay, sorry. Can SME and the DLT companies be located in the same country, or they must be located in different countries? They can be located in any country which is eligible. So if it is the same, fantastic. If it is not, fantastic as well. How can non-profit NGOs participate in the project or your ecosystem? NGOs, we are currently launching a program to sign some non-binding MOUs with different organizations where NGOs can be considered. So if you have any idea for that, just drop us a line at hello@blockchers.eu and we will come back to you to further discuss. Okay, so this is the type of deal that we're currently doing with some corporates and some foundations that want to explore some synergies with us. Okay, all the contracts that we sign will be made public. So if you have any ideas on that, drop us a line. Are traveling costs to Hungary included also for startups or only for experts? Okay, if you are invited to the event in Hungary, you will receive 3,000 euros as a flat rate. You should use that flat rate to cover your own travel expenses. We are not disbursing any more funding than the one which is indicated in the slides, which means that any related cost and also related to travel should be covered from that. So basically what we are paying you in the first phase is the travel and a little bit more for preparation. Okay, so that's the main issue. Also important thing, travels are compulsory, meaning we don't disburse the funding until we see you in the place we are organizing the event. Okay. Okay, that was for the traveling costs. Any more questions? So as you can see, this was the whole idea of the webinar, was to open the floor to all of you because you're having How many experts are needed? That depends basically on the number of applications we receive. So the minimum will be 2, but depending on the number of applications we get, that is what we will need to determine. So basically, once we run the call for the experts, we will select for sure 2 experts, one in technical issues, the other one on the business side. And then there will be some of them under the waiting list. And depending on the final number of submissions, we will call them at a later stage. Are you using the RIA pool of experts in addition to your own call? No, we're using only our own pool of experts because we don't have access to any other list from the European Commission, because the contract is not between the Commission and the expert. The contract is a private contract between Zavala Innovation Consulting as representative of the consortium and the expert. So that means that they don't share personal data with us. Alexander, hands up. Alexander Sobek.
Hi.
Now your mic is.
I'm not sure whether you got my message, but I posted a question saying, is there a matchmaking program for tech SMEs looking for end users? And if so, what's the process?
Yeah, the answer to that was that what we're currently using, or what we're currently telling you to use, is the F6S application has a panel for messages that you can use to post your required needs there. We are using that as a central point to connect the demand with the offer. And when we receive inputs from final user SMEs interested in the cases of blockchain, we tell them to post them looking for a blockchain company interested in this, or the other way around. So if you have any offering or any demand in terms of technology, please use F6S Blockchers site to do that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? I will take that as a no. So, thank you very much for attending today into the webinar. This has been recorded and it will be published in our YouTube channel. There will be another one more or less in a month time. So be also if you want to sort out more questions. An important message we want to launch from Blockchers team is that we don't pre-evaluate any proposal, meaning that if you want to talk to us about the fit or not fit, about your potential use case or whatever, we are not able to do that because this goes under public funding. So we are entitled of the same number of opportunities to all the participants. So all the doubts and everything, you can use public channels like F6S, like the Telegram channel, send us emails, and we will point you where the answers are. But we will not assess before you submit if your proposal is good or not. We cannot do that, okay? And we have the external evaluators to do that. Thank you very much, guys, and talk to you very soon. Good luck to everyone. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.